Morning, Mark from the Lawnologist here in a rural location in North Essex, about 5 minutes, well, not even 5 minutes, maybe a minute from my yard, just up the road. And we're going to scarify a very, very old, very thatchy lawn. No renovation today, just a simple maintenance, scarification and aeration with a light dust and a seed. I thought I'd film it simply because I think it's worth talking about how to scarify properly. We often talk about scarifying, but no one talks about why, how and what and the reasons for doing it. So let's have a look. Today there's me, there's Simon and there's Big Viv. Let me introduce you. So Simon's going to make a start on the headland. I'm going to introduce you to Viv. There she is, Viv. Vivian Westwood, get it? Not very funny, is it? Terrible dad joke. In any case, let me spin the camera around and just show you what we're up against today, because this lawn is old, it's thatchy, it's undulated, it's stressed, hasn't got any weeds, we've dealt with them, and nutritionally it's fairly sound, we've dealt with that. Bearing in mind that it's 6th of August, we've gone through a right old heat spell. We have a fairly green lawn, however, it is really thatchy. So we're just starting by doing the headland, doing the first cut, trying to take the tips off the grass to get a better idea of how much thatch is within that. The ride-on mower is perfect for a lawn of this size, it just makes things so much quicker. Right, first mower is complete. Nightmare, really spongy, loads of lateral growth. Vivian really struggled. We managed to take it down a notch, but in order for us to get it even further down, I'm going to have to scarify it first, just to get everything to stand up and just start pulling out some of that dead organic matter, just to make it easier on the mowers, because the mowers are just not coping with the density and the thickness of this thatch. That's where this comes in. This is one of our 2 Elite 450 scarifiers, double cut blades, cracking bit of kit, really well engineered. I'm now going to start using this to tackle that surface thatch and that lateral growth. So back on the time lapse, talk you through what I'm doing. We've got a bit of a task on our hands now. It's a bit worse than what I thought it was. Anyway, adios. So, because the lawn is so thick, we've got to start taking off just some of that surface thatch to allow us to cut lower, to get a better idea of what's going on. So this is what's happening here. It's just a very, very light scarify, just to get the bent grass to stand up and just to start to slowly pull out some of that organic debris so that we can mow a little bit more effectively. Right, so first pass complete. It is a scarification pass, but a light one, because the mowers are struggling so much. I've had to get the grass to stand up. It's mainly the bent grass that's kind of gone out and grown, and now it's all standing up. Because the area is so vast, because it's so big, we're going to use Vivian, just the brushes on Vivian, to pick up the thatch. It's going to make things a lot more efficient rather than raking and blowing. We'll still rake and blow at the end to make sure it's doubly tidy, but in theory, Vivian's brushes should start picking everything up quite nicely. So back on time lapse, that's what I'm going to do now. Adios.
So this particular ride-on mower has brushes at the back that flick up the debris when you're cutting grass, which is perfect also for picking up the thatch. You can see here it's literally just sweeping everything up, makes our life so much easier and the job so much quicker, but you have to have the brushes on the back. It can't be a normal ride-on mower. As you can see here, the added bonus of whilst I'm picking everything up, actually stripes the area as well, which is a touch, because it makes things look a lot nicer and a lot tidier.
So that's the kind of minor scary complete. It's the one that thinned out the lawn to allow us to mow it more and get the lateral growth stood up, which is what we can see here. All of this stuff, it's all been growing sideways, it's bent grass, it's all stood up now. What we've got to do is mow it properly, take it down, then we can scarify it properly. So the first part we've done, we've taken the tips off, we've then scarified to thin it out to allow us to mow it properly. Trick now it's stood up, is to mow it in a different direction to what it's used to, try and get the best and most efficient cut. So you can watch me mow if you want, if not you can skip the next bit. Just going back on a time lapse for me, sat on a ride-on mower, mowing again. Right, so I spared you the second mow, but that has gone down lower. We have managed to cut through some of the upstanding lateral growth, and now we're scarifying again, a little bit deeper this time, and we're going a different angle. Again, we're using a different angle is to cut through the lateral growth, make sure everything's cut evenly, Don't go 90 degrees when you do scarify, because you're in danger of really ruining your lawn. We always go no further than 45, so you can see what Simon's doing now. He's going on a 45-degree angle. It's just enough to take what we need without doing too much damage. What I would say, on a lawn like this, a lawn of this size, your domestic scarifier is not going to cut it. They're not powerful enough. The blades aren't great. You're going to need something commercial like these Elite machines. They make such a difference. So actually how many passes we're doing and how much stuff we're bringing out per pass. So I'm going to put back on a time lapse, now on a 45-degree pass, a little bit deeper, to really start pulling out some of that debris.
Now this is a slightly more serious scarification. We've dropped the level on the scarifier. It's going deeper. We're now working at a 45-degree angle, again, to get everything standing up, to get the best chance of pulling out the debris, but to safeguard the root zone. That's a key thing. Safeguarding that root zone will do wonders for your scarification job. We don't want to go mad and just hack at it and go at all angles. And again, using the ride-on mower here now just to clear up the debris. You see nice stripes, looking nice and tidy. Still not completely scarified. There's going to be at least another pass on this, which I'll explain very shortly. And again, next pass of the scarifier, ruining all of them lovely stripes I've just made, but I've gone a bit deeper again, and you'll see I've gone against our 45-degree angle. I'm going back, up and down, but again, a different direction to how we started. So whilst we're going laterally and up and down, I'm actually going against where I first went. And this, again, to make sure we're getting everything stood up, to make sure we're getting as much out as we can in a single pass. This particular scarifier's got double cut blades, so it's much more effective.
So, scarification complete on part of this lawn, but there's more. Probably what we call the formal part. We get to a trickier part now, which is under trees. Same sort of issues, certainly here, a bit spongier and more lateral growth. So I'm going to move the camera back to about here. We go to the middle section of the lawn. So slightly different approach. Probably if we go this way now rather than that way, simply because of the obstacles and the lay of the land. But part two now for scarification. Let's see how we get on. Pop you on time lapse.
So on this section of the lawn, I've left it a bit longer, and the reason being that there's so many trees taking moisture out of the grass, drying the soil out, and so many undulating roots that actually, for best health, I've decided to keep the grass here a little bit longer than I'd like to. That's just to aid recovery, to stop the soil drying out even more, and to keep it looking like a lawn. And again, just using the ride on to sweep up that debris. Be a little bit careful here because of the roots and the undulations, but not as much thatch come out of here as it did out the formal part of the lawn. So this, I think, ends up being about 2 passes and the grass being left a little bit longer.
Right, so that's that bit done. 2 passes on the scarify, close smoke, got the lateral growth. It's all cut lovely now. I'm going to move the camera back one more time to part 3 of this lawn. It's the final, probably 400 square metres. So I'll take the camera. I'm going to pop it over here this time, I think. And again, different sort of grass. We're going to more of a meadow sort of paddock area now, and the grass is different again. So put that there. Hopefully you can see the last little bit. Simon's already started to scarify this. He's mowed it, he's scarified it. I want to start picking up the rest of the stuff. Simon is going to start aerating the rest of the lawn now. We're making good time actually. This is going to take a bit longer because of the different types of grass, but actually I reckon come 4 o'clock we'll be done. 2:30 now, and that'll be 1,800 square metres scarified and aerated and seeded. So back on the time lapse to the final throws.
So again, with this lawn, different type of grass altogether. We go more into meadow grass, more like a paddock field. Hardly any bent grass in this, so the scarifying didn't need to be so aggressive, but we did have thatch to get out, and it was mainly dead thatch rather than lateral growth. But nevertheless, still a lot come out of this, but it was only 2 passes. The lawn's very undulated. And you have to be careful then that when you've got undulations, that your blades of your scarifier aren't now digging up the soil. But overall, a tidy job.
We are done. 1,800 square metres, scarified, tidied up, aerated, seeded and fed. Now what I would say about this is we've talked through some of the techniques we've used. This is a DIY job. Don't ever underestimate the undertaking of this. You need proper commercial equipment and proper know-how, because this has taken us 7 hours today, but we had the correct machinery. I would expect if we had domestic machinery and we weren't doing it every day, so we're a little bit unskilled, you'd probably be looking at a 2 or 3 day job. But yeah, we are done. Very, very tidy. See those darker patches there? All that is the bent grass, and that is where we've taken the chlorophyll off the top. We've cut it short. It's fine, that'll come back green, there'll be new shoots coming through, so I'm not worried about the patchiness, I'm not worried about the colour. We've taken all the chlorophyll off, it's been nearly scalped. But what we have done is we've taken a lot of the organic debris out as well. And that means that we're going to get fresh, green grass growing back, new blades of grass. And come spring, this lawn, in fact probably come end of autumn, this lawn is going to look pretty decent. It's been fed, it's been aerated, it's been seeded. Anyway, that's the Lawnologist team signing off. It's Friday. We're going to go and take some liquid libation at the local pub, and then we'll catch you another time. Adios.